Hey, welcome to the Thrivecast. It is a production of the Thriveal organization, and Thriveal has been around, going strong for almost 15 years, where firm owners come from all over the world to build community and grow and build their firms together through our programs, events, education, and conferences. And we want to say thank you to Bill. They are a sponsor of the Thrivecast and have been for many years. We're actually a 15-year user of Bill in our firm. So thank you, Bill, for helping us as we deploy Bill into a lot of our controllership and CAS work with our clients all across the country. Thank you, Bill, for being a sponsor of the Thrivecast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Thrivecast. This is exciting. Our Thrivecast is actually coming to a close. And so we're doing some special episodes. There's going to be one special episode at the very end. That's going to be a live episode. We won't let the cat out of the bag. But before we get there, we wanted to invite some guests we know well, we consult with, people that have been in Thriveal that have they do the work of change. And I'm really pumped to have some guests and friends of mine and Julie's from HKB CPAs out of Louisiana, Rhonda, Butler, and Trey Touchstone. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Thrivecast.
Good afternoon.
It's good to see y'all. This is exciting. Y'all are one of our last episodes.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
Sad to see it go.
I know. Well, you know how life works, right? There's a lot of good things, and you're like, it's a new season to go into. And so, as we went through some Thriveal changes last year, we're focusing in on a certain kind of firm, probably a little bit of a larger firm, to really lean into that coaching and consulting, the things we love. And we get to see people like you a lot when we do that. So anyway, welcome and thank you for being a guest. We're pumped to have you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what we're going to do is just, maybe tell us your role, what you do, and and then we'll get cranking, and then we can share back and forth how we want to talk. So Rhonda, kick us off. Your role, how long you been at HKB, and anything else you want to share?
I've been back at HKB since 2011. Started here as an intern right out of college and left and did some other things and came back. I'm a partner.
Mm-hmm.
Recently transitioned to the CFO role as we're leaning more toward the corporate model. And, still in the thick of client service as well.
Yeah. Join the club. Right. So, all right, Trey, how about you, man?
Similar to Rhonda, I was with the firm for a couple years, got pulled away to a little oil and gas startup, helped them bring their accounting in-house, and came back to HKB. I've been back for 5 years maybe. Became a partner, and I now hold the role of CEO. But yeah, we're not big enough yet to where we are solely focused on our leadership roles. We're both still in client work, in the trenches a lot. Just got out of tax season, so still have a lot of that responsibility. But yeah, we are trying to spend more time in the functions that move the firm forward.
Yeah, cool. Well, Julie and I have been working with y'all for a while, a couple years, maybe something like that. And y'all are incredible leaders. Y'all are. You're committed. We leave sessions and y'all go implement everything, right? As hard as it is, man. Y'all dive in. So some of my questions to kick us off at the beginning is, how did you find out about Thriveal, and why was there some need to change or really to get outside help? Do you remember?
Yeah, well, I do remember. For me, I actually found Thriveal when I was an employee, and I was very unsure at the time if I wanted to commit my career to public accounting. And I think I sent you a LinkedIn message, and I was like, "Hey, man, just found your stuff." I kind of came into the profession later in my career. I did industry side first, and then moved over. And I was like, "But I really like the work, but man, this is kind of a goofy industry." In some instances, I was like, "I don't know if that's what I want to do."
Yeah.
And you were encouraging. You just said something along the lines of like, "Hey, man, this is a great profession. Stick with it. You'll enjoy it." But I was kind of committed. We are a 40-plus-year-old firm, and it's a great firm, but there's also some legacy stuff and tax heavy. Um, when I found Thriveal, look, this is a community of CPA firms, leaders that aren't doing it just the traditional way. And it kind of showed me that there was other options. And so that's when I found you. I don't think it probably took a couple years for me to come to Deeper Weekend. And then the cards kind of aligned to where we were, I got Rhonda and my other partner, Rob, involved, and it's been a couple years now.
Yeah. Cool. What's your story, Rhonda?
Well, Trey kind of brought me along for the ride, but
kicking and screaming, huh?
No. I think as firm owners, we get so bogged down in the work, in the grind, that it's hard for us to step back and take a look at the firm itself, not just servicing our clients. And that's one of the things I like about Thriveal, is that you do kind of hold us accountable to what we say we want to do. You kind of lead us there, and then you say, okay, well, what are you going to do about that? And just having that third person entity out there as our cheerleader or our coach or whatever has helped a lot. And I'm glad Trey found y'all.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Well, it's cool because y'all do this for your clients, right? You're their person that can go, hey, I know what you're spending money on, and of course we don't dive, deep into y'all's books. We do that in some of our levels. But it's more about supporting y'all through your journey. Was there a specific pain point? I mean, Trey, it sounds like you found a community somewhere that you're like, hey, they could support me. But when you started diving into maybe some consulting, which is kind of what we started doing together, was there a pain point? You're like, this has to be solved, or was it too many pain points that you remember as you began with us?
Yeah, I don't think there was one specific pain point for me that kind of made us kind of jump off into consulting. I mean, part of it is Rob, who's not on here, is approaching retirement. I was coming in as a partner. He's starting the retirement process. And so some of it was just guiding us through those changes. And how, making bigger changes to kind of coincide with that. But ultimately, it was just long-term didn't want to be a tax-heavy, grinding tax season, doing a bunch of compliance work. We didn't want to be that firm. We wanted to dive deeper into relationships and, provide better service. So it was kind of just around restructuring the firm to support that.
Yeah. Yeah. That stuff's hard to do, right? I mean, Rhonda, has there been some kind of, it's been hard, right? So y'all have a firm that you want to change, and it doesn't change as fast as you want. But Rhonda, has there been something that's like a breath of fresh air? Like this is one gift or one piece of freedom we've gotten, or this is one thing we changed and it's really helped us. Is there one change you can think about?
Well, I think the first big change was the accountability chart. That's kind of the first thing that we implemented
Yeah.
out to the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that helped a lot in clarifying everybody's role and their job description and what was expected of them. And then that helped us as leaders too, you know, kind of design the way we wanted the processes to work. And I think everybody's bought into that very well. They've jumped on board. So that was the first big thing.
Yeah.
That we did.
Cool. Yeah. Well, and so our book, that Scale with Purpose book, talks a lot about structure and kind of implementing order. You know, there's a lot to the structure of a firm. I don't know, Trey, do you have any other thoughts on that structure? A lot of times we start with the accountability chart because it's also very hard to build. It's very difficult to get it right. Yeah. And y'all went through, just like every firm, you went through multiple iterations. I don't know, Trey, do you have any other thoughts about creating that chart?
We did. No, it just created clarity. Additional, like also with that, you don't just have a chart. We had to rebuild all the job descriptions. And also in that same process, we assigned out a lot of our client, like a lot of the work to team in advance. And so that we didn't see the immediate benefits of that, but as we got through the tax season, as we got through, a couple months of accounting work, that started to become, that's where we started getting feedback from the team. Like, oh, this is more efficient. We know who's responsible for what clients. So I think, the accountability chart and job descriptions gave us a structure. And then I think assigning out a lot of the client work to specific team members through their roles provide a lot of efficiency and help the team out a lot.
Yeah. How's that affected y'all? I'll let each of you share. Kind of, has it freed up any work for you? It may not have. So an accountability chart with structure and roles gives you something to put work into. Are y'all still on that journey? Trey, I'll let you start, and then Rhonda, I'm curious what you think.
Oh yeah, we're definitely still on that journey. We're trying to. We each sit at a client advisor level as well, so we're still responsible for some clients, and still on that side of it. So, but it's sharing that with other team members now, where in the old partner model, all that accountability for the clients would flow up through Rob and Rhonda. And, there were some clients that they got a lot of attention, and there were some that was kind of like, hey, where's this guy? What's going on with this client? But now, someone's responsible for those clients. And so that's taken a lot of mental load and some workload off of our plates to allow us to work more at the CEO and CFO role.
Yeah, cool. How about you, Rhonda? Kind of building this structure and having a place to give work. How has that affected you or helped your role?
It's alleviated some worry on my part that I know that someone is responsible for that client other than me, and I don't have to think about every single client of the firm, which is part of a legacy of mine as a former tax manager. I used to worry about that all the time, whether it was my responsibility or not. And we're still tweaking. So this year we realized that there are a few staff members that, the way we assign things out got a little more of the load than others. And so we're going to have to tweak the list, but all in all, I think it worked very well. And, I think with some tweaking, and those were things we really wouldn't know until we had done it, gone through a tax season. And clients change year to year. You never know what load they're going to bring. So, but it's worked very well.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's one of the, that's one of the strategies is to get clients hooked up to a person in the firm, and you just don't ever get that right, but it does open your eyes to the management of the team's capacity, right? Because Rhonda, you just made an assessment. You're like, some people got more than probably we intended. And that's great knowledge to know, because the assignment needs to be changed. And sometimes we go, well, that didn't work out, but no, it's working. You're just going to move the weight of your client load around more appropriately. Am I saying that right? Is that kind of the result?
You are. And I think part of that is, it came back and brought home something we already knew from the accountability chart, is that we do have some roles we need to fill. And we knew that going in, but this kind of just reinforced that knowledge that, yeah, this is where we could use a little extra support.
Nice. Any other thoughts on that, Trey?
I don't think so. I think just summed it up.
Cool. All right. Well, to do what y'all are saying, so we just talked about it in just a few minutes, it takes immense courage. It takes months and months and months. All of this stuff y'all went through just took retreats we did together, coaching, and y'all are freaking courageous leaders. Y'all lean in, you hire, because y'all went through and you created a whole brand new role called a project manager. I would love to hear what y'all think about why you needed it, what you did, the person you chose, or the person you offered it to. Trey, we'll start with you. Why did you think this project management thing was important? And we went down that road.
Well, we were wasting way too much time with just project management by committee. And especially during tax season, without the client the accountability of the clients spread out to team members. Yeah. It was kind of, we knew our top tier clients, people knew what's going on with them. But beyond that, it was kind of like everyone had to get on a call once or twice a week, and the group would track stuff. And it was terribly inefficient, frustrating for most people, and probably not great for the clients. And so putting one person in charge has really helped. She deals with a lot of, the team, from, hey, this project's on your dashboard. It's been here for 11 days. We need to get it moving. To, relaying messages up to the partners and to the client advisors. So it's been good. Just like the last thing, we got to tweak it. We got to, we learned some through this. This was our first real tax season with a project manager, really involved. And so we learned some things, and we'll make some tweaks and hopefully be better come September, October.
Nice. Cool. How about you, Rhonda? Kind of seeing the need for implementing it, what you've learned about implementing project management?
Well, it's taken a lot of the stress load off of me, I think. I'm sure, like I said, worrying about every client, and now I know someone else is worrying about that, so I can let that go, which has been great. And just that day-to-day management of employee schedules and what projects need to be done. And we chose someone who's been with us for quite a while, so she knows a lot of the clients. She knows all the staff. So she's not just a project manager. She's also a client advisor and works in client service. So she has that background too. So she's not just managing the list. She actually has more of the technical knowledge as well. And that's helped a lot, I think.
Yeah. That's helpful in a project manager if they have some kind of technical background, in an accounting firm. Y'all are, like I said, y'all are very courageous in the things you do in your firm it's weird when somebody describes you as courageous. You might not describe yourself as that because you walked through whatever iteration it was, and it doesn't always feel courageous. Most of the time, you feel like I was scared to death, and I can't believe I actually did that. But from the outside, it looks very courageous. Do you feel courageous, or are there still emotional worries you carry? And the things you haven't done that you should do, like emotionally, how do you feel about what you have done, which I think is courageous, and also what you haven't done yet? Does that make sense?
I don't know, Jason.
You're like, I'm getting all fluffy now, man.
I don't feel courageous.
I think we've made great strides. Okay. I don't feel courageous.
Okay.
But I feel accomplished, if that means anything.
That's
like,
cool.
Hey, we did this. But okay, so what's next? Like, we've got to keep going and keep getting there.
Okay, that's cool. So, Rhonda, you don't feel courageous.
It's a journey. It's not a destination.
That's true. So true. And you would say you don't feel courageous, but you feel accomplished, which is cool. That's a very cool word. Trey, you said you don't feel courageous too, but would you describe it the same way?
I mean, I think without being too hard on myself, on us, we have made some hard changes, but kind of looking back on it and even looking at stuff we're going through right now, it's like we should have done that faster. We knew the right answer. We knew what we needed to do, but why did it take us 3 weeks to do it? So I guess if I really felt courageous, it would just be, I'd be acting more instantaneously. But, ultimately we do stuff. It just sometimes looking hindsight, it takes longer than maybe it should have.
Yeah. You do stuff. Well, we feel that way sometimes. And Julia will remind me sometimes, she's like, probably if we went back in time, with the information we had at the time, we might not do it any differently. Because that judgment or assessment you just had, which is we probably should have done it sooner, you have that in hindsight, right? That's a hindsight assessment. It's like, but in the same moment, the thing is, y'all care about people, right? So we go slow around people that we care about. And we just don't haul off and fire people or yell at them. Sometimes we want to do that, but we don't. So you're probably going through this assessment of caring for people. Do you think that's true, Trey? Like, would you do it different if you went back in time?
Oh, what I did? Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I look at things now. We've made it through some of them, and so of course it's like, oh, well, I could have done that better or faster. But it's also, like, this is my first time leading a CPA firm. So I'm learning, and the goal is to keep learning and be able to make those decisions faster in the future.
And we do.
I'm proud of where we've come.
Yeah. Y'all better be proud, man. Y'all are amazing leaders. It's crazy what y'all have done. Even if it doesn't feel like you've done much, but you have. And so I'm curious, Rhonda, as we think about maybe some learning, would you, if you went back a couple years before we started working together and you could tell yourself some piece of wisdom, what would you say? Something real specific about, all right, you're about to go through consulting. Here's a piece of wisdom you need to know. What would that be?
Trust yourself.
Oh, that's cool. Say more about that. What do you mean?
So, for an analogy, Rita Hummingbird always said when you're dealing with clients, when she was mentoring staff, she'd say, realize that you know more than they do. Like, don't be afraid of the client. You know more than they do. You know more than you think you do. And so I would say that trust yourself. You know more than you think you do. And trust those instincts and that knowledge.
Yeah. Good stuff. How about you, Trey? What would you say if you went back a few years and said, this is a piece of wisdom you should know before you go into consulting?
I just think that most of the time there's not like a right answer or a perfect answer.
Yeah.
There's just you take action and you learn and you fix what you mess up and
Yeah.
take more action. You need that North Star or, what you're striving towards,
Yeah.
and you take actions that'll lead you that way.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be linear, and
Yeah.
you just got to keep going.
Yeah. That's cool. It is not, man, building a firm is not linear. Oh my God. Frustratingly so. It's like you're backpedaling a lot, and it really does get frustrating. Some people do give up. I mean, we've had that happen, but y'all never have. Um, why don't y'all give up if you hit walls? What kept you going? Do you know?
I mean, the part of it is a team. That's one. I don't just it's never really crossed my mind to give up, but um, we don't do this just for us. Obviously, we have our families to support, but we have team that depend on us to, keep the business going, and we have clients. So, just, doing the work.
Our effort, when we're consulting with firms, is to work with y'all, really focused on the firm changing. But I'm wondering, is there any kind of trickle down effect? Like maybe the firm's changed, but what has it done for you as a leader? How has it changed you? Or how has it changed you in other settings other than the firm? Maybe not at all. But what are the effects you felt personally as a leader in your maturity?
Rhonda, you want to kick that off?
Oh.
Ooh, this better be good, Rhonda.
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't like this self-assessment stuff.
Most of us don't.
I know. I think I expect more of my team, but in a good way. Like,
That's cool.
I know their capabilities, and I'm more willing to push them to get that, to grow, instead of maybe saying, oh, they're not quite ready for that. Let's try to lead them into that. And then treating myself that same way, pushing myself to do the things that I don't necessarily feel comfortable doing.
Like holding yourself to a different standard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. What was there anything specific in consulting that led you to think that, or that's just something you adopted on your own?
Oh, I don't know that it was any specific thing, but probably just the conversations we've had during consulting. I've always been a learner. Like, I'm interested in learning new things all the time, but I would not we always tend to do the things we want to do or learn the things we want to learn instead of growing in ways that we need, but are not necessarily easy.
Nice. And that's what a third party can do. They can hold you to a different standard. And especially because we just believe y'all are very high level strategic operators. So, and you start believing that about yourself, which is cool. Trey, what about you? Just anything you thought about that's kind of trickled down, not just firm related, but you personally or anything else like that you've learned?
I just think the experience of having to make decisions that impact others, accountability has probably been a huge part just for the team. I think that was, we've always had a very team friendly culture. Sometimes maybe too friendly. and so learning, like kind of like Rhonda said, like holding the team and ourselves accountable to what we think we're capable of as a firm, has been a big deal. And it, I've got 2 younger kids, and so some of that definitely flows over to them, like holding them accountable to things they say they want to do. And so, yeah, that's probably the biggest, just learning to make decisions,
Yeah.
and hold myself and others accountable.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. All right. A couple more questions as we wrap up. So on the firm side, are there things that maybe used to be a grind, and you may have mentioned something like this already. They used to be a grind, or you hated it, and it's gotten better. You enjoy that piece more, or maybe there's a role you didn't used to embody, and now you do. You embrace that role, whatever that is, and you're starting to enjoy that part. Trey, is there anything like that you can think about?
I mean, just the leadership role of meeting with the team members regularly. Not just when performance is bad, but when performance is good, and just getting to know them as people and how that impacts their work. So just being able to spend more time with the people and not just looking at 3 different monitors all day.
Yeah.
That's a big component. I've enjoyed that. And then just being able to spend time on strategy, on, what does the next 3 years, 1 year, 3 months look like?
Yeah.
And really kind of leading that with the firm.
Yeah. Cool. How about you, Rhonda?
I think having the client advisor piece in place has really, I enjoyed tax season more this year, which I've always kind of enjoyed it because you get to touch so many people and all of that. But this year I felt like I wasn't as bogged down in the compliance, and I could take that step back and look more strategic for my clients. That you don't necessarily have during tax season. And I think I had a little bit more of that this year, and I enjoyed that piece.
Cool. Yeah. It's cool to hear you enjoyed tax season a little more, but maybe it's because of the strategic
it's
piece
not
with
I
tax
describe it as
season.
less bad.
I don't like
She
the
describes it
tax
as better.
season. I like the work and the camaraderie of tax season.
Yeah.
And the client contact that you have more often during tax season. Those are the things I like about it, not necessarily the season and the hours.
Okay.
But it was a little more enjoyable this year, I will say.
Cool. Trey, what were you saying?
Oh, she describes it as better. I describe it as less bad.
That's a totally different label.
No, it was better. It was the best one we probably had in a couple of years. Nice.
Cool. Well, and everybody's like, well, they're lucky. No, y'all worked your butts off. Isn't that wild? It's like if you want something and it turns out really well, you can look back and go, man, we worked pretty hard for that. And man, y'all have hard conversations. You spend a lot of time on strategy, building the firm, partner conversations, all of this stuff. Previously you think, I don't have time for all this stuff, but y'all make time, and there's some great results that come out of it. So my last question is, you might not can share all the dirt, but kind of what's the future? Kind of what are the next steps? I don't know if it's a dream that you have for the firm. What do you want to change as you move forward? Rhonda, we'll start with you.
Oh, well, as you said before, we're not going to quit. I'm going to be here until I'm not doing this anymore. So to keep making it a place that you want to be, that you want to work and enjoy the work and the clients, the team. move to a more advisory type client base, which that'll be hard. But I think we're slowly going to get there.
Nice. Cool. All right, Trey, describe the dream firm. No, no, just the future. What's next?
Yeah, I mean, Rhonda touched on it. Ideally, probably fewer clients, deeper relationships with the clients we have, more impact on those clients. Continuing to develop. We have a terrific team, some really young, smart people. So hopefully bring in some more and just continue to develop them. You know, like Rhonda mentioned, I don't plan on going anywhere. I want to create a firm that I don't want to retire from.
Cool.
You know, maybe not stick around as long as Rob.
Rob,
but
he loves the work, man.
He loves the work. It's great.
He loves it.
I love that he loves it. But yeah, so develop the team, really be more intentional with our client base. And obviously, you know, keep increasing profit.
Yeah. Heck yeah. That's cool. All right. Those are all the questions. So, man, it's been a joy working with y'all. Julie and I have really enjoyed getting to know you and having you in the community, calling you friends. It's really cool. We've gone to visit you and see your town, and y'all have come to Greenville a number of times, and you're coming again next week.
We'll be there
next week.
It's going to be fun. Yes. So it's really cool just to be in a relationship with y'all and kind of grow our firms together and bump through that, man. That is not an easy thing that we do. But we're grateful to do it with y'all. So thank you for coming on the Thrivecast and kind of sharing some of your testimonials of how you've changed things. And we appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming, man.
Absolutely. We appreciate everything you and Julie and the Thriveal team, Lauren and everybody has done for us.
Yeah.
Nice.
You've put together a great community.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, we're thankful for you. So thanks for joining us on the Thrivecast. We'll see y'all.
Thanks.
Thanks.